Wow. 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 Indeed. It is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. It is, of course, Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for watching this. I truly appreciate you joining us. Of course, I've got so many shows that you need to check out as well, along with the Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On the latest Pop Culture Cosmos, we go ahead and make sure we got you covered with our thoughts on the Box Office Fantasy Challenge Part 2. We talk about the movies that might dictate the box office this upcoming year. So go ahead and check it out today on Apple Podcasts and also Spotify as well. The Pop Culture Cosmos. And also later on here, in just a matter of days, you'll get to see it on the Lakers Fast Break YouTube channel and, of course, the Pop Culture Cosmos channel as well. Also, so I want to go ahead and pitch my channel that I work with the Fan Arc Network on. The Fan Arc Network has me hosting their Lakers Latest channel. So go ahead and check out your morning reviews of the Los Angeles Lakers, news and updates right there for you each and every morning, right there on Lakers Latest on YouTube. Also, so I want to go ahead and share some love. Drip Show at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. Want to go ahead and share the love because not only I've got right here his Laker Lovers shirt that's right here. You've got the Kobe pillow that's right here. You've got Luka that's right behind me. Kobe that's right behind me as far as the great art that you see there. And also as well, you've got this coming up. We are going to give away one of these bad boys. And I have just been told during the course of the game on Discord that one of these bad boys can be shipped to almost anywhere in the world via FedEx. So if you are a guy or gal that wants to go ahead and get the skate deck, I'm going to be running a contest starting on April the 1st. And we're going to go ahead and make sure you have a chance to win. And for doing so, all you have to do is be a subscriber to the channel, and also as well a follower, of course, right there at Drip Show Shop on Instagram and Twitter. Oh, that's such a beautiful skate deck indeed. Thank you so much again to Intel Wild for the $100 update, the super chat that he gave earlier today with the Lakerholics, Lakerholics.com. And El Rosto just gave $50 as well. Thank you so much for doing so. Truly appreciate it. El Rosto is the part and one of the major reasons why we're able to run this contest right here. So shout out to him. And 50 for LFB being the best post game. Thank you indeed. It is, of course, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching and listening. Truly appreciate it. Truly a fantastic time to be a Lakers fan. Lakers heading into the Magic Kingdom tonight. Absolutely just on a high 8-game winning streak on the line as they faced off against the Orlando Magic. And you could tell that the fatigue was setting in, as it always does with these NBA road trips. When you get to the latter stages of the road trip, you could tell that the road trip is going to get to these guys. Although, again, I talked about already how LeBron James was playing golf yesterday with Bronny and almost got kneed up by an alligator. That's a legit thing. Go ahead and check it out on my Twitter. But I will say this. The Lakers, even though they went back and forth in the first half, stayed in the game. Third quarter, they did struggle. Luka struggled. The team struggled from the free throw line. You could tell all the signs were pointing not in the direction of the Lakers because of the fact that they were struggling so hard from the field and so hard from the free throw line, but they kept it close. Gritty comeback. And it comes down to, once again, as Laker Tom said earlier today, the clutch performance indeed. Wow, there you go. 51 again for an LFB prize giveaway. We're going to go ahead and make sure we got a great contest coming up for you, courtesy of El Rosto and, of course, at Trip Show Shop right there. But the Lakers, when it came right down to it, in the clutch once again, staying close indeed. Intel Wild, who gave us a huge $100 super chat earlier today. Thank you so much for doing so. Everybody seems very happy right there. El Rosto, I'm overwhelmed. Thank you so much, El Rosto. Thank you so much, Intel, for all your contributions today. And when it came down to it, the Lakers against Orlando, just in those final 3 minutes, what would they do? They went back and forth. The execution wasn't quite as well as you would like it, quite as sharp, quite as crisp. The shots were falling short, but still, they managed to go ahead and stay close and got, as far as Jaxson Hayes, fouled with just a few seconds left to go ahead and get closer to the Orlando Magic. But a mistake by Jalen Suggs passing the ball to inbounding, and obviously it went off Paulo Banchero, and they replayed it. They watched the replay for minutes on end. A final replay with Jalen Suggs passing it into Paulo Banchero. LeBron James pressuring it falling out of bounds. The call went the Lakers' way. So the first time they inbounded with 4 seconds left, they passed to LeBron. LeBron goes up for the shot, gets hacked by Paulo Banchero. And guess what? They didn't call it. Shades of Boston from some time back, as far as him getting whacked on the arm and not calling it. But you know what? Persevered with just 2 seconds left. The Lakers ran another play. Luke Kennard. We talked before about how Luke Kennard and or Rui Hachimura, you have to have your shooters out there in those final moments. You have to go ahead and have at least bench production is so important, is so much of a key. And Luke Kennard being traded here from the Atlanta Hawks for Gabe Vincent, a guy who just did not work out, quite frankly, with the Los Angeles Lakers. Luke Kennard initially gave us a big boost to the Los Angeles Lakers, but in recent games had find himself a couple of donuts and not being able to give you the kind of production that you really needed. But I will tell you what, when it mattered the most today, he was the source of scoring off the bench that I've been asking for quite some time, shooting 8 points, perfect in the first half, and he followed it up with 0.7 seconds left on the clock. 0.7 seconds left on the game. He hit the Magic three-pointer, and the Lakers get out of the Magic Kingdom with some Luka magic and a 105-104 victory. The Lakers are now 46-25, 9 games in a row. 9 games in a row for the Los Angeles Lakers. What will happen? We will have to wait and see as far as on Monday in Detroit. But what a gutsy game. The Lakers, even though they weren't shooting as crisp as you would like to see it, still were able to go ahead and battle their way through. They were able to claw and scratch their way to a victory today and gutted it out with a magical shot, pardon the pun, by Luke Kennard with just 0.7 seconds left. And absolutely a fantastic victory. Grabbing victory from the jaws of defeat, 105-104. The Lakers right now, as the standings are getting updated, they're 46-25 on the season, solidifying themselves even more in third place in the Western Conference. They're now a full 3 games in the standings ahead of the Rockets, Nuggets, and Timberwolves as I speak to you now. But you might as well consider that 4 games because the advantage, the tiebreaker advantage they now have over the Rockets, Nuggets, and Timberwolves. A great performance by the Lakers, even when they were tired, even when they didn't have their legs on their shots. You saw all of the short shots, the missed free throws, and still, you know what? They were able to come through and gut out a victory. Just absolutely ecstatic. Everybody in Discord was just fantastic. Arcarino said, yo, is that Legend that comes on the show? Legend, he is hoping he'll stop by. He did not go see the Golden State Atlanta game. He got tickets for next week for a game in Atlanta. So I'm sure he's looking forward to that. So hopefully he'll stop on by. It is, of course, Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for watching, listening. Joe Soro hopefully will be here because I cannot be on for very much longer. So I'm looking forward to that. But Intel Wild, truly appreciate the generous super chats. El Rosto, truly appreciate the super chats as well. Theo says, no Cade. Yes, he is out for an undetermined amount of time with a collapsed lung. So yes, and no Luka next game. Still think the Lakers get 10 in a row. Indeed, we'll see what happens, but absolutely a great performance tonight from this team. A gutsy performance. They were able to stay into it. It wasn't pretty, but the Lakers got it done tonight with a magical shot. Pardon the pun once again from Luke Kennard with the three. Absolutely just fantastic to go ahead and get this kind of victory when it looked like all signs were pointing the other way. The Lakers do grab the victory and now won 9 games in a row. They get that Orlando albatross off their back because they'd lost several games in a row to Orlando. That's gone. And I'll tell you what, absolutely. Nick T, stop, 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 stop. We enjoy the win. Enjoy the win, Nick T. Stop complaining about Luka every single game. I understand you didn't like his shot selection today. I understand that he was cold in the second half. I'm not going to sit here and tell you differently, but 33 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 4 steals for him. You never give him credit when it's due. You never give him credit when it's due. 26 points, 7 rebounds, 2 steals for Austin Reaves. LeBron only with 12 and 6 and 3 steals, 4 assists for him. DeAndre Ayton 9 points, 12 rebounds. But again, as I have said, bench production has to be a key for the Lakers, and Luke Kennard provided it. Jaxson Hayes with a really solid performance, his first solid performance outside of his free throw shooting in quite some time. With 8 points and 7 rebounds, absolutely came up big today for the Lakers, especially at the end of the third quarter and into the fourth. He came up with some big plays, 3 block shots. This is the type of gutsy performance where you take a game where it doesn't look like it's going to go your way and make it your way. Absolutely, indeed. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Truly appreciate to have you here. Hope Joe said he wanted me to do the game, do the post game right after the game. So hopefully he will stop on by here in a minute because I told him I had it hard out at 7. So hopefully we will go ahead and be able to bring you a full show indeed. I know that John Costa's doing his 3-minute report. Hopefully we can stay on till then. And then also as well, of course, get Joe on here to host as well. Is Sports Baby going to show up? He was there, our Carino, on our Discord. It was great to see it. Discord, we had someone fishing in Australia. We had, I guess, Tough with his business, dealing with what he was working on. And the rest of the guys were just awesome all over there. Everybody in great spirits all throughout. We were concerned. We weren't sure if they were going to pull it through, but they did. They got the shot. They got an open look. The thing was, everybody was so focused on the big three, they didn't see Luke Kennard slip out to the top of the key to get that 3-point look. And an easy look it was, a clean look. And I'm just happy he was able to hit it. So yes, this is a game that the Lakers, under most other circumstances, might have lost because they didn't shoot well. They didn't shoot free throws well, and their jump shots weren't working. And Luka, like Nick T, he didn't have it as well as he normally had it, but he still was able to get you 33. He was still able to manufacture points. He was still able to go ahead and keep the Lakers in the game. I don't understand what you want from him. And I don't understand why it makes you continually so mad. When the Lakers are struggling as a team and he is struggling, they're still manufacturing points. He is still manufacturing points and helping to keep this team in the game close enough until it was time for an execution in the form of Luke Kennard. And again, just great play. Jaxson Hayes down the stretch, a key free throw down the stretch. Give him credit. LeBron James with a key basket. These guys are doing what it takes to win these games, and they're playing more and more confident. They're playing more and more together. These type of things bring this team closer and hopefully will help them get more confidence as we get into the postseason. Big shout out as well also to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Yo, also as well, want to go ahead and make sure you guys check out the Lakerholic Spotlight we did earlier today with Laker Tom and L Rob. You know that they're happy right now, but yes, great show, great thoughts from them. If you want to go ahead and check it out, is on the channel right now. I'm also going ahead and if you get a chance, check out the NBA observations I did with Legend, the one I did with Matt John, and I'm putting in LFB clips here and there and shorts. So go ahead and check that out as well. I'm putting out a lot of content for you guys, and I'm hoping you're enjoying it right here at the Lakers Fast Break. JY says, I'm not a Dookie, but they those blue devils. Hey, all I can say is Duke, they keep on providing winners each and every time out indeed. Yeah, absolutely when it comes to Duke. But with Duke, Boozer, they pulled away from TCU in that second half, and I definitely want to go ahead and make sure to give them their props. But you know what? I'm not for Michigan. I picked Michigan though in this bracket. I think that they, you know, as far as the pool is concerned, and they're still alive. They had a convincing win today, so we'll see what happens as it gets whittled down to the Sweet 16 here by the end of the weekend. I don't know if well, Joe said he wanted me to start it up, so Joe better come on soon because I'm going to have to shut it down here in about 5 minutes unless that's the case. So if Joe is not coming soon, I'm going to have to shut it down, and I apologize for that. But I hope that's not the case because I told him I told him I said, do you want me to go on later? Do you want me to go on sooner? He said, just do it sooner. And I said, okay. We'll go ahead and start up sooner, but you know, I got to leave here in just a few minutes. So hopefully he is coming on here ASAP. So we'll see what happens. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Yes, the one thing I did want to mention as well before I head on out, there was a double technical earlier in the game. I know that most of you guys saw it. It was a back and forth between Goga Batazzi and Luka Doncic. They I guess, like you said, Orosto, they spoke to each other in a foreign language and probably not the nicest words in the world. Both were assessed a T, a double technical, and right now, as it stands, if it holds up, it will be a suspension for one game for Luka Doncic for Monday's game. I repeat, if it holds up, the league will go ahead and assess it and whether or not they want it, because the Lakers will appeal it. Whether or not it will be rescinded, we'll have to wait and see. If it's rescinded for him, it'll most likely be rescinded for both guys. But again, if it is not rescinded, Luka has the night off, which makes it even tighter for his eligibility for MVP and whatnot, as far as that's concerned as well for those postseasons awards. So again, we will have to wait and see. But he himself and Nick T, you know, obviously would probably tell you as well, his arguing with the refs and getting those T's earlier in the season, they build up. They build up to the point where he puts himself in this type of peril, and all it took was him and Gogo Batazzi talking smack. And again, we will hope it gets rescinded on Sunday and that the league take care of it, or Monday morning. But we will have to wait and see whether or not Luka Doncic is eligible to play on Monday. And if you guys want to go ahead and keep in touch, I'll have it on Lakers Latest for the Fan Arc Network, or also Lakers Fast Break on Twitter as well. King Cora says, why is he trash talking with nobodies? Okay. Stefan Pascano, no worries, Stefan. Yeah. No, we cannot both agree on that. Rob Palinka, overrated, below average GM. Sorry. Unfortunately, we cannot agree. But yes, hopefully we can schedule another meeting and I can come on your show at some point in time down the road. But again, welcome the opportunity. Arcarino says, is EJ the white gentleman with the hat profile pick? That I don't know per se, Arcarino. I guess that you guys are locked in talking about that on YouTube. But again, it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. The Lakers do get the miraculous 105-104 victory over the Orlando Magic. Again, I've got to be leaving here in a few minutes. If Joe's not here, I apologize. I'll try to see what I can do to get it more minutes in for you maybe later tonight if Joe is not able to. Okay, Joe is on the way. I told him I have a this guy, hard head, hard. I tell him I have to leave at 7, hard out at 7. What part of this does he not understand? But again, I'm going to stay with you for a couple minutes more, hoping he comes on and see if we can get this done. But yes, No, roast. I'm again. Joe's going to come on, so I'm going to stay with it. Yeah, but you know how it is, El Rosto. You got the fam on the other ear, and you guys in one ear. But a great performance today from Luke Kennard. This is the kind of output and bench output we need. 10 to 15 points a game from these guys coming off the bench. I've talked about all season long the Lakers bench being one of the worst in the NBA as far as scoring. And, I have people that suggest trades and talk about getting this guy and this guy, and it's always a defensive guy. It's always a defensive guy, or it's a defensive guy that can shoot, but doesn't create his own offense. This is what I mean when I say that we need some type of offensive punch coming off that bench, something reliable you could count on coming off the bench, and having your best shooters out there when you need it the most with just a couple seconds left is exactly the best play. And I know that we talked about what's about a month ago, JJ didn't have both Luke and Rui out there for a final play, and we were all frustrated about it. But you know what? He did it today. He had the right people in the right spot, and the play was mapped out beautifully. You have to give JJ credit because he put out the best play, because the play that was mapped out, play that was drawn up, was exactly what you want to do. Everyone was coming towards the sideline, and that left Luke Kennard wide open for a good look at three. Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate you doing so. This was a great win, King Court. This was a win taken from the jaws of defeat, because at this point, everything was pointing towards the Lakers' defeat. And I don't think anybody would have been mad, because I'd even said, I said that the Lakers could win 2 at Houston. They could go 4-2 and they could split Florida. I would be happy. I would be happy with that. But not only that, they're now gone 4-0 on this road trip, and are looking to see what they can do to finish off undefeated on this road trip, would be fantastic. And you could pretty much, if they go undefeated on this road trip, you might be able to say that they've locked up third place at this point in time. The question is, do you want to see them keep pushing it to say, let's go with what's going on in the East with Boston? Because as of right now, they are 1 game back of Boston, actually 1.5 games back of Boston, for the overall record. Because if you have in the back of your mind, as far as being able to go ahead and see a Lakers Boston matchup, that's something I just want to go ahead and put that out there. Rodell, is Rodell in the chat? He hasn't been with us for a while. Rodell, I hope all is well if you're out there, my friend. But once again, it is the Lakers getting the victory tonight, 105-104. And here today, hopefully, to go ahead and talk about today's show and take over for me, good man of deeds, so I don't get roasted, pardon the El Rosto joke there, by my own family. It is, of course, the guy behind Simblades, Simblades with a Y.com, the guy behind the Joe Soro experiment. Before I head on out, Joe, before I set it up for you, I wanted to once again thank so much Intel Wild and El Rosto for the generous contributions.
What did El Rosto send this time? What, $5?
No, he did 250s. He did 250s.
250s, really?
Yes, and then earlier today, Intel did 100 to make up for the. Remember when I did 3 shots on the air? And
no, Intel's in. I'm not worried about Intel.
Yeah, okay. Well,
El Rosto and his $2.52.
Yeah.
What is this? What is this? What are we buying lemonade in 1989? Like, what's going on here?
So but today they generously gave, and I'm very appreciative for it. But Joe, let me set you up before I head on out. The Lakers, again, that second half looked like tired legs. Their jump shots going short, the free throws not connecting, but they still managed to fight their way through to stay close enough. And that's all you need. Give yourself a chance to win. And in the final moments, a key error by Orlando opened the door for the Lakers. Now, first off, LeBron got hit again on the arm, shades of Boston years ago, but it was made up for by a brilliant drawn up play by JJ Redick. Everybody came towards the sideline. There was one guy going out, and that was Luke Kennard who hit the game winner. I said before on the Discord, it's the old adage, Joe. When you're on the road, you go for the win. When you're at home, you go for the tie. In this case, the Lakers went for the win, and they got it tonight, Joe. And everyone, have a great evening and have a great weekend.
Thanks, Gerald. The what came out of this game was a few things. In terms of the game, we had what I believe will be a playoff type style of play that Orlando has now 2 times in a row played against the Lakers. The first one obviously went Orlando's way. The Lakers kind of lost a little bit of focus towards the end, and Orlando ended up pulling it out, and I think it was a 1-point win. And then tonight, a lot of missed calls that didn't go the Lakers' way. I don't mind a physical game. I don't mind the refs not calling fouls as long as it's even. Even if there is a foul, as long as it's even, I'm okay with it because I think in the end it builds character. And tonight, the Lakers built something tonight that I hadn't seen with this particular team. I thought I saw it in the Miami game. I thought I saw it in the second Houston game. I actually saw it more tonight because all that frustration didn't phase them. They were frustrated. Even LeBron's 2 incidences where he should have got a foul call, he reacted, but he wasn't overly reactive. They stayed focused to the point where LeBron was able to create enough diversion in that inbound that Orlando did to where the ball went out on Banchero. They got the ball back. I thought the play they ran was great. I mean, it left. First of all, JJ had 2 calls in that where the guy was wide open. The first one was LeBron. I thought LeBron had a layup. Like I thought he was going to dunk it, and then he kind of hesitated a little bit because I know Banchero is a big guy. Thought he let him go over, but then Banchero, I guess, used his athletic ability to do what he did. And then after that was everyone doubled on LeBron and worried about Luka, and there's Mr. Kennard. And the second that thing left his hand, it's so weird that this is the conversation today. I was talking about the Robert Horry shot today with someone and how as soon as that ball went up, we all knew it was going in. And it got nothing but net. And that's exactly what happened today with Luke Kennard hitting that shot. I mean, I watched it at least 3 or 4 times. I mean, it didn't hit anything. It was completely just net at the gorgeous sound that you hear. Hey, you doing great. What a game. What a game to build metal. What a game to really, really look at in terms of the overall result of this road trip alone. We were talking about, man, they had a really good homestand. And if they can somehow manage a 4-2 run here, but if they go 50-50, it is what it is. We weren't expecting them to win as many games at home the way they did, right? But looking at the schedule, man, I'm like, I'm looking at it right now and I'm going, is this really what I'm looking at right now? I mean, are we really looking at the first 4 games, especially in the freaking East, in the Southeast? In the Southeast, Texas is not the South, but some people still think it is, right? It's a 2-hour difference, right? It's not 3, but I'm looking at the schedule. I'm going, man, the Lakers are WWWW. Houston, Miami, Orlando. Wow. I don't even remember. I don't think I've ever seen that. Maybe it happened in the 80s. I don't know, but I have never seen that. I've never seen the Texas 2-step win, and then Miami and Orlando win all in the same week. It's not even a week. What is it? 6 days? 5 days? So not only did you test your mettle a little bit, you came through all the BS. You played playoff basketball. And the first Houston game, you could say a little bit was kind of like that because everybody was missing shots. But I think that was just more shot missing and them playing hard defense. Tonight, it was just missing. They were like bumping and grinding. That's what they were doing. And they were able to muster just enough to get this thing going. And it's hilarious that when we talk about Luka Doncic, he had a bad game. I'm putting the bunny ears on this for the Apple and the Spotify crew. I'm putting bunny ears on this. Luka had a bad game. He dropped his average. If he had dropped 43, this game would have been done in probably 5 minutes. So Luka didn't have a good game. LeBron had for his standards, a pedestrian game, although there were plays throughout the 48 minutes where he was clutch. Reaves came through. I thought Jaxson Hayes played amazing defense. DeAndre Ayton was getting rebounds tonight better than I'd seen him in a long time. Kennard hit a great shot. I mean, the Marcus Smarts were battling. I know Laravia's struggling shooting, but at least he was doing something on defense. So a grind out late year game like this, after they just won 3 out of 4. Well, now it's 4 out of 6. That's in this kind of environment, man. I gotta say, man, props to the entire organization, and I gotta give props to my boy Empire Jeff. The reason why I didn't immediately come to the show is because I was talking to him on text for a good maybe 15 minutes, and Jeff and I have always connected from a personality standpoint. I know his family. Got to know him right away because I'm a family guy, and I usually judge people by who their family is. And he really was adamant about supporting the people that put this thing together. And it's not the Guggenheims, it's not those who we don't know about. He's talking about Rob Pelinka and Jeannie and all them. So I'll give him props. I'm going to give him props, and I'm going to give I think it's poetic that we give Rob Pelinka some props now because that's the guy he got, right? Was it his call? Well, he is the GM. So at this point, we're going to say he did make that call and traded someone that I couldn't stand, and Gabe Vincent, and got someone as productive. And Luke Kennard did more in what I remember two games than Gabe Vincent had done in 2+ years. And now he gave the Lakers a game-winning shot on the road. I mean, come on. In a game where they were down 2. That shot is a different shot when you're down. Just a slight bit. No, not a slight bit. It's different by a lot versus if it was tied. Right? So props to Rob Pelinka. Props to Empire Jeff for staying positive, staying supportive throughout all the muck. Sometimes some of us don't do that. And if that's the case, if I got to eat some dirt because I maybe over-exaggerated certain things about certain people. Now, my thing with Rob Pelinka is not always generally around the basketball operation issue. There's something about Rob Pelinka that sets me off. And I'm not going to really get into that because this is a happy moment. I want to talk about the Lakers. But in the end, in terms of basketball reasons, rest in peace, David Stern. This is the result of an important transaction, and look at what it's done already. And this is why it's important, guys, when you can get the right players just a little bit and how it can bring everything together. And props to JJ Redick. I've been 50-50 with him, obviously. And 50-50 doesn't mean I'm negative and positive. I'm just in the middle. You got to give a guy some time, right? You can't let a guy – can't just say, "Oh, this guy stinks" after a year and change. I was waiting to see how he would develop. Sometimes you got to let these guys develop. Players, coaches, doesn't matter. But JJ Redick's 2 calls there at the end were something that was beautiful to watch because we've been having the Lakers have been having problems inbounding the ball. Not lately, but when they were, and it's nice to see that in both cases there was wide open players ready to receive the ball. One should have gotten a foul call. He didn't, but then it resulted in the other one getting an even more open shot and then hitting the game winner. So props to Rob Pelinka, props to EJ, props to LeBron and the whole Laker crew, the whole organization, and everybody that's been following the Lakers intently. It's tonight's game was just amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed it because I also thought that this is the kind of game the Lakers needed to play so that they can get ready for what's coming. So what else am I missing here, guys? What do you guys want to talk about? Kennard was the third option on that play. LeBron was, let me see. Let me bring some of you guys' stuff up here. Rosto. Kennard was the third option on that play. LeBron was the primary for the win. Luka was the secondary if he could come open, and Kennard was the third option. So I'm going to have to, I did see it 3 or 4 times, but I was more focused on Kennard. My guess, unless somebody's already seen it and I missed it the third or fourth time, my guess is that was done on purpose because maybe JJ was sure that he was going to get a wide open shot at that point. And the reason why that shot makes sense is also for the fact that they didn't have enough time. Luka usually is better dribbling a little bit. LeBron isn't really good at catch and shooting. Luka usually needs to have a grip on it a little bit, needs a couple dribbles. Whereas Kennard, he's a shooter. And by the way, statistically, he's the best shooter in the league, 3-point shooter in the league. So when he got that ball, much like Robert Horry, he got his little kickstand thing going, shot it, and it was nothing but net. And it makes sense, wouldn't it? Right? I mean, even if he had missed it, when you look at how he shot it, that was a confident shot. It was a confident shot from a guy that knew he was getting the ball. He was prepared. He was prepared. And whether he was the third option, first option, second option, I don't know. It felt like he was the first option. It really did. I felt like it was the first option because of how wide open he was. And when they go in, you're a genius, right? But even if it hadn't gone in, that was a great shot. Kind of reminded me a little bit of this was the negative part, right? It reminded me a little bit of the shot in Game 5 in the 2020 Finals. How LeBron had the ball, and we thought he was going to go to the basket, right? I mean, that's what I thought. And we're sitting there and we're like, what was it? Do you want to give it to Danny Green? I mean, he was wide open. Probably should have made it. Was kind of upset, right? It's a finals game. It's a little different than the regular season game. But I was kind of upset. But then at the same time, I'm like, it just hurts because you missed. If he makes that shot, he's a genius, right? So in this case, Kennard made it. Everyone's a genius. Everyone's smart. And here we are. Let's see here. I still hate Danny Green. See, Jay, you got to stop hating everything. What is your problem, man? Love is the greatest gift of all. Let's see here. Where are we? We got another super chat from Intel. The smart inbounds pass to Kennard reminded me of a Rondo clutch pass. So let's do this. I saw this, and I'm glad you brought it up, Intel, because this is not the first time. Speaking of last-second shots with really nice pass, you remember a couple weeks ago? Remember the shot that Reaves missed? That smart like laser to him, perfect laser. This time it went in. So props to Marcus Smart. Props to Marcus Smart. Not enough credit given to him for playing as balls out as he does. He's playing hurt, like probably most of the guys out there, but he plays a little bit more intense. So he's more apt to get hurt. But hell of a pass, hell of an identification, if anything. And again, when the show's over, I'm going to go watch the post game. I want to see what they say, and I'm sure some of you guys have already maybe you already heard it. I want to see what the play was. What was the thinking? Was it indeed the third option for them? Was Marcus Smart really going to give the ball to Luka, but then something happened on the Orlando side that let Kennard get wide open? That's what I kind of want to find out. Smart is the heart and soul. Well, Smart is the guy that Smart is kind of like the Trevor Reeves of this particular team. And he's very experienced. So when they get in the playoffs, they're going to have a chance to see who he is and what he is even more. I think that's where I know in Boston it didn't work out for a title, but I don't know necessarily if that was the issue on why they didn't win a title. I thought it was other things, maybe just too happy at the three. Not enough inside presence, not enough domination there versus certain teams that could adapt to just allowing these guys to shoot threes all game long. 2024, I always say, I wonder how things would have been in 2024 if they had faced some competition in the East because they were pretty fresh because every single team they played in the 24 run in the East, all the one options were injured. So we'll never know. We'll never know. Hold on, I can get a message here. I'm going to give you props right now. Okay. So, anyways, where are we at here? Let's say we're going to be giving flowers all evening today. So, Mark, yeah, that is a good one, Mark. Jackson definitely deserves some flowers tonight. I think the only thing that I'm maybe irritated by tonight's game is the free throw shooting. I think this free throw problem is becoming a problem. It's always been a problem, but it's starting to become a scary problem now. They cannot be this bad at the line when showtime comes. This guy's got to be very much more focused on making those free throws. I can't expect Jaxson Hayes to be a good free throw shooter, but I have to say Luka needs to be better at the free throw line. We've been saying that's really his only weakness. And DeAndre Ayton, I know missed a few tonight, but he's got a little bit of a shot there that should be consistent. Other than that, I guess 10 missed free throws is too much. And Luka cannot miss 3 free throws a game. That just can't happen. If he's averaging 10, he's got to hit 9 and 8 or 9 a night. Every night he's got to hit 8 or 9. It makes a difference. That extra point makes a difference. But looking at it, everybody else, LaRavia is struggling on offense, but again, his defense is good. Jaxson Hayes doing his thing, and as he should. Rui was looked a little bit. I don't want to say intimidated, but it looked like the physicality kind of threw his game off a little bit. Thank God for somebody like Kennard that kind of covered his ass on that off the bench. But if that's the case with Rui, Lakers are going to have to do something about that at the end of the year. Obviously, they may have to let him go if this is how he plays against stronger, more physical teams. Let's see, where are we here? Robert Wheeler, my friend. Joe, do you think there's any team in the NBA having more fun right now than the Lakers? They are screaming, hugging, laughing, playing with so much joy. It feels like they're at an all-time high. I think probably not because this is fairly new for them. I believe teams like OKC, maybe the San Antonio Spurs because they're young and they're kind of on the come up. But I think the pressure in San Antonio, Oklahoma City, the fact that and as great as Wemby is and as great as SGA are, they're not LeBron James and Luka Doncic. Those guys come from a whole different like notoriety area, right? There are people in this country that wouldn't be able to pick SG out of a lineup that watch sports to boot. They'll be able to pick out Luka and LeBron. And then on top of that, I bet you half the country don't even know where Oklahoma City plays. But they know where the Lakers play. So when you have that kind of pressure and that kind of spotlight, you have, and then you win, it becomes more euphoric because all you've heard for a better part of a year since Luka came here is negative. Negative about LeBron, negative about Luka, quote unquote, not playing defense and complaining to the refs too much. We've recently this year dealt with the DeAndre Ayton going AWOL a little bit. We've dealt with just certain players not doing what they're supposed to do, and now everybody's doing their thing. And once winning gets thrown in there, now it becomes this. We're all going to get along now because we're winning. I don't want to mess things up. And on top of that, when LeBron has accepted his recent future, and right now his recent future is unknown, it brings everybody else together. Because if LeBron is going to be content with that, then they're going to be content. And that's not coming from me. We all heard what Austin Reaves said in the last game. Hey, Austin Reaves wanted to sit that Miami game until he found out that LeBron was going to play. As soon as he found out about LeBron playing, he's like, I can't let a 41-year-old make me look like a you know what. Speaking of you know what, John Costa's here.
Oh, when you say you know what, you must have meant a real one.
I meant a real one, yeah.
A real one. What's up, brother? 9-0. What? We are.
Yeah. So welcome everyone. This is John Costa from the what's your show again?
Lakers Corner.
Lakers Corner.
Come on, man.
What do you do in the corner there, Johnny?
Do everything. I do 3-minute game recaps, which I'm posting right now. I do weekly shows, and I'll talk about the Lakers. Y'all, we've been balling out. I think we should petition Luka Doncic to never ever get in a relationship ever again. Because if this is how if single Luka Doncic plays, come on, y'all. This is what I need. He's been absolutely dominating, Joe. I think have we now come to the conclusion that single men are better at basketball than married men?
Well, that could go two ways. If you are a true family man and you pick the right woman, it actually does enhance you. And I remember Lee Haney. He's an 8-time Mr. Olympia, and back in the late 80s, early 90s, he was advised, because Lee Haney was a little more subtle type, personality, that didn't look like he was very flamboyant in terms of probably being that guy, right? He had some of his mentors say, Lee, you need to continue to do what you're doing, and you need to find yourself a girl to settle down with, because when you settle down in a regimented business, and basketball, football, professional sports is a regimented business. Sometimes if you're going out and you're doing your thing, you might not be focused because you got too much going on with certain things, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the opposite of that is you don't have to worry about going home and putting in quality time. You're like, I just need a tic tac and I'm out. Right?
Yes.
There's no, as long as you know what you're doing there, like you're not putting yourself in drama world where you're dealing with, like, I'll give you an example. You're going out and you got to be really good with communication. You got to be able to connect with your significant other or others and say, listen, this is what I do. This is a problem. Then, God bless. I hope you do well. Most people don't do that. A lot of times, even the dudes can be bitches. Okay, they like that drama. They like that people fighting for them, right? And then that's when shit gets bad, because now you start dealing with, oh, well, so and so now has something coming in 9 months or 10 months, and then that takes on a whole thing. And is that? Let me ask you something here, since you brought that up. Maybe that's what's starting to mess up Anthony Edwards a little bit, don't you think?
Might be. All that money coming out of his pocket, all that girl tripping. And all
you think it's easy? Oh, I'm just going to throw $1 million and she'll go away. That's not how it works, dude. Because then you got suckers like me basically telling everyone that you're a piece of shit daily, right? It's not a good sight. It's not a good sight. But with Luka has the ability, much like Kobe, much like Tiger, much like the Jordans of the world, when they have outside distractions, they harness that negativity and they turn it into, I'm gonna bust your ass, I'm gonna bust everyone's ass, and that's how he's built. He had a horrible game tonight and he still dropped his average. How about that?
Come on, Joe. Jay White said, can the Lakers beat the Pistons since Luka's not going to be playing this game because he's suspended? Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, Cade is out with the collapsed lung, so our star is out, their star is out. I don't see why not. I mean, we're rolling too. We have opportunity to extend it to a 10-game winning streak. So,
well, anything's possible at this point. So I'm not going to say no, but it would have been easier if Luka was playing.
absolutely, of course. I mean,
And I was waiting for this. I just wish it was a better. I wish it was someone else. I wish it was someone else he got the tech from. Like, make it worth it instead of Gaga or Gogo.
Whatever the fuck his name is,
or Gigi, like whatever the hell his name is.
Really, first word.
Yeah, and at least bust that guy's ass in front of everybody, if you're gonna get a tech. But maybe at this point, Luka gets a little bit of rest. The game is on Monday, and then he'd come back for the Indiana game and make it probably a 5-1 road trip, which I'm not gonna argue against that, especially considering they're gonna be playing Brooklyn. See, I wish he had gotten the tech in the Detroit game. Then they wouldn't have needed him for the Indiana game. Really? I think that would have been good. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, John. What happens after this? How many does he have to get the next suspension?
I think he has to get to I think he has another 5 to get the next suspension.
So they move it 5 more. So he has to get 20 to get another suspension.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to check that out. I got to check that out.
Look it up right now.
Yeah, look that up, and then I'll go ahead and answer some questions here for the crew.
All
right. Let's see. Goga said Goga talked about Luka's mom. Oh, oh boy. JJ said that Goga talked about Luka's mom in another language. That's why you got the tech.
Damn.
So
this is kind of scary, Joe.
Okay.
Listen, so you receive a suspension on the 16th technical, and then 1 additional game suspension is triggered for every 2 additional technicals. So on the 18th, on the 20th, on the 22nd. So that's
if he gets to 18, that means two game suspension.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
okay.
If he gets another, that's another game suspension. Damn.
I don't know. I don't know what.
That's kind of
it's something that Luka has to start really focusing on. Stop doing.
Do you know if that goes back down? Because I know playoffs it's 7.
Playoffs, I think it re-registers.
Okay, that's what I was just wondering, because I know it's 7 in playoffs. Yeah, Luka really needs to calm down. Yeah, honestly.
If you want to get 5 to 10, fine, but you can't be hovering around 15 the whole time. There's just sometimes things like this happen. But Gaga talking about his mom, that's a pretty shitty.
It's a pretty shitty thing.
That's a pretty shitty thing to do, and he may have done that just to get him to get messed up, for all we know. But that's when you need somebody like Jaxson Hayes to pop him one.
Exactly.
If Jaxson Hayes gets suspended, no one cares. So
that's crazy.
And I would pay his money if I was Luka. I'd pay the fine, since he's only making what, $3 million a year, only $3 million a year,
which is crazy. No, so you know what I was actually going to say, brother? I was going to say. So I looked up like how much a player gets fined, and it say anywhere between like 2,000 to 4,000. So let's say like 3,000. I'm gonna figure out what 3,000 times 16 is. That's, oh my God, it's $48,000, Joe. Just
so he's been fined $48,000.
That's insane, and I guarantee he's got a couple more coming. That's insane, Joe. Some people make that in a year. He's getting fined that.
Well, see here. I'm gonna bring this up too. So the refs didn't understand it. But if you read Luka's lips when he was trailing back to get back on defense after the free throw.
You saw that?
I saw that, and I understood the English. He shouldn't have said the F word in English. He should have said it in Slovenian or whatever language Goga or Gaga or Gugu says. I'm assuming he's Slovenian too, right? Is that or part of the Balkans?
I think so.
Yeah. He should have been cursing in a different language, but that was kind of just this. They're not going to rescind it, obviously, but man, isn't that kind of a cheap tech?
Yeah.
Does the NBA really want Luka out of the Detroit game? That's good TV, isn't it?
Right. That's bad on the NBA. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think anything that someone says should be a tech, unless you're just like wildly disrespecting somebody directly, right? Like I don't think anything.
It's going to look bad too. It's like, what's Luka going to do? He's making fun of my mom. Like, is that what do you want him? Is that how you want him to talk? Hey man, he said something about my mom. It's different if it's the crowd versus a player, because the crowd is just a crowd. Players, you're right there. You're bumping and grinding with them. And I don't know. Mothers need to be. I don't know. I don't have evidence on that one.
You remember when that shit with Carmelo and KG happened, where KG was like, "Oh, Lala tastes like honey nut Cheerios," and
well, to me, the thing is with KG, he would have been very easy to pop him.
Yes,
because he's a studio gangster. And if you don't believe me, go on YouTube and put Anthony Peeler, Kevin Garnett on there.
I'm gonna look that up,
and you'll see one of the best. You'll see one of the best crack shots that you could get in an NBA game without things getting escalated.
Kevin Garnett fight. I'm about to look this up right now. It's on YouTube.
If you want to pop it in here, you can go ahead and show it to everybody while I answer some questions here.
All right, bet.
JY has a superstar like Luka in the MVP chase ever been a top technical guy and won the championship? Well, let's talk about that. Maybe Charles Barkley, but they didn't have that rule in '93. I don't know how many texts Chucky got at that time, but I'd say Charles Barkley had that technical
thing.
Screen?
No, you don't see my screen yet. What about now?
I see it.
You see it now?
Yeah.
All right.
You gonna show it?
Yeah, I'm about to play this.
All right, watch this, guys.
The best guys, if those are the guys you trust, that's who you have to play. Well, if it's just
I'll turn it down so you can commentate it, Joe. Oh, why is that shit speeding up?
Where is it? Okay, here it is. It's going to come right now because he's going to hit Peeler because Peeler hit him initially. He's going to hit him with a shoulder, boom, and then Peeler hits him with the elbow.
Oh, that little.
But it's better in slow-mo. Hold on. Let's see if they show it. Hold on.
Let's see.
Watch. Here we go. Watch. Show it.
Oh, yeah, it's about to show. Oh, ooh, he gave KG a nasty shot on that box out.
Yeah, and KG deserved every bit of that for being the bitch he is.
All right, look, here it is right here.
Here we go, right here. Boom. Boom.
Oh, shit.
Like, bitch. I already elbowed you once, man. You want another one?
Look right here. Oh, that's on the
right here. So he elbows him. And KG falls like the snatch that he is. And then hits him with a shoulder.
That's
so there's a better one that's closer that shows his face getting all messed up.
There's another one. Let me see.
I'm
gonna show it here.
I don't know. Will they? Let's see if they show the. Yeah, here we go.
All right, let's see.
Here we go. Hold on. Okay, so the camera followed him the whole way. This is it right here. Watch. So he waits. Boom.
That was hella fast, though. That was hella fast. That elbow was mean.
Right here. That
Damn.
was good video.
Good video. That was hilarious, Joe. He gave him the first elbow and then immediately just hit him with the.
So Iverson getting suspended while winning an MVP for missing freaking practice. Yes, Xbox. I'm talking about practice. Well, the thing is with Iverson, and Iverson has already admitted to fault to this. Just in general, I think Iverson missed out on Iverson. Iverson never really irritated me. Like he didn't have a personality where you were irritated by him because he was like a Kevin Garnett, like a fake tough guy, or Tracy McGrady kind of loved himself a little too much, and it came out pretty obvious. AI just wanted to be his own guy, and he didn't want anybody bothering him. And I understand that. But if you don't want to be bothered in a team sport, you might want to play an individual sport. That's the thing with team sports is you have to, if you want to be great, you have to at some point be a team guy. You have to listen to the coach. And if you listen to the coach, everyone else, because you're Allen Iverson, it's going to fall in line. And
I was AI a fake gangster. I was Nah, I was born.
No. He wasn't a fake. He never had a fake gangster attitude.
I
No.
know.
No, this was Kevin Garnett.
Oh, okay.
Kevin Garnett had a fake gangster, dropping N-bombs on everybody, making fun of everybody, doing that kind of stuff. That guy was doing that all day, and then of course he didn't do it against guys like Shaq and those guys that would bust him up. He'd do it to the Anthony Peelers or any of the lanky white guys at the time that weren't really that good. And we're not stupid. It's kind of similar to Draymond Green, except Draymond Green did a bigger bitch move where he would just hit everybody in the nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So the Allen Iverson thing was more about his stubbornness to understand that he's in a team sport and you have to work at the job. We know you're gifted, but as soon as his gifts started to dwindle, that's when he started to dwindle. Much like this is where he does compare to T-Mac, to Vince Carter. None of those three guys put in the work after the fact, which is why Kobe passed all of them in the end. They all didn't go the extra mile to continue to be great once their physical abilities started to come down to earth a little bit. They couldn't cover that empty space with better fundamentals, better outlook on the game, the obsession of the game, so that you can always not get bored when you want to go and keep doing something at year 14, year 15, year 16. I think they got burnt out. I think at the end they all got burnt out. Thanks, Intel, for the $5 super chat. Come on, chat. Hit the thumbs up and smash that like button. Yes, 50 in the chat. 50 in the chat is pretty good. Can you guys like this for Gerald for once? Let me see here. Let me see.
Hey,
I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna like it even. I'm gonna do a little bit of a refresh here. So right now we're at 22, and there's only 37 watching though. So they're coming in and out here and there.
They're coming in and out, but hey, don't come out. Just come in. Pause. That's kind of weird. But
well, you didn't see some dude. It could have been a woman.
It could have been a woman. Exactly. Yeah. Joe, how did you feel about that? That last play, like I thought Bron definitely had that layup. Like before the Luka Doncic 3, I was like, man, here we go, Bron, wide open layup. And then honestly, at first, I was like, why the fuck are you waiting for Paolo? And then he got his shit blocked. How was your reaction?
Well, I think he thought Paolo was gonna
just
fly
go
right by him. Yeah.
Yep.
And
honestly fouled him, to be real.
And that, so at the beginning of the show before you got here, we did talk about both plays.
Okay.
I thought they were both brilliantly called because, and I have to wait and see if Kennard was in fact the third option. I don't know if that's true.
What do you mean?
Based off what I'm seeing, what I saw, the first one to LeBron was absolutely brilliant because LeBron was as clear as day, and LeBron was just making sure his layup wasn't going to get blocked. So he thought Powell was going to go by. He'd do a little layup, done. Tie game, let's go to overtime. Instead, he got fouled, but they didn't call it a foul. Definitely. Went out of bounds, went back to the Lakers. Fine. That was happening all game long, by the way. Mm-hmm. All game long. And I know that I think I read that Reddick said something at the press conference that the refs kind of were not doing certain things. My thing is when you're playing a physical game like this, and this was a physical game all 48 minutes, yeah. I don't really hold too much to the refs when it comes to that. Because if they're calling those kind of things for both teams, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I didn't see a ref issue tonight. At least I didn't, because of the physicality of it. And in the end, too, is the Lakers needed this again from Orlando, because Orlando did this somewhat, wasn't as physical as tonight, the first time they met in LA, but it was a close game like that one. This one was just more physical. So you're tired. You're on game 4 of 6 nights, and you're tired. Luka looked tired. He couldn't, his shot wasn't going in, even though
no legs.
He came out the gates, and I think he kind of burned himself out coming out the gates the way he did.
Yeah,
that's another thing he needs to work on, by the way. I know it sounds weird, me telling Luka what to work on, but my thing is, my thing is, what I mean by that, folks. But I'm not insulting Luka here. Luka, keep doing what you're doing, but there's a couple things that I do if I was the coach. I'd be like, Luka, they're gonna start putting enough stuff on you where you're gonna start getting tired if you're coming out of the gate too. Just like a horse racing, you want to pace. Some horses need the pace.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Right. And I think sometimes, and this isn't just an Orlando tonight thing. There have been games in the past where he comes out, drops 15, 20 points in quarter one, and then he can't, go all the way with it.
That's a lot of games, to be honest with you. A lot of games he'll have like 15, 12 in the first and 4 in the second.
But with that, after this is, I got to get back to what your question was. You had a wide open layup. Mm-hmm. What happened. They get the ball back, and then there's 2.7 seconds left. And Marcus Smart, who at this point is the best inbounding player on your team, and then Laravia's, I think, second. Mm-hmm. Keep giving the ball to Marcus Smart because this is the second perfect pass he made. The only problem was the first one. Unfortunately, Reaves missed the shot. But this one, him finding Kennard, whether he was the first, second, or third option, was absolutely perfect. He got it within stride. Kennard broke that wrist, snapped that wrist. And I mean, as soon as I saw him snap the wrist,
that shit was cash.
I knew that shit was fucking done. I'm like, that is in. And it didn't just go in. It was swished in.
Real shit. It was just a perfect shot. But Joe, like honestly, I want to give credit to JJ because not only was that play with Bron a great ATO, like the out of the timeout play, but also that play with the game winner that we hit with Luka Kennard. Now, I don't know if you got some like insider information that I don't got. Where I know you're saying about like you don't know if Luke was the third option. I'm guessing you're saying like there was 3 different options out of that play, and if there was like. Even more credit to JJ Redick because goddamn, like you're coming up with 2 great ATO plays that got you a bucket. Like realistically, Bron should have been a bucket. He just got fouled. They didn't call it. And then Luke Kennard's ended up being a game winner, and that was the third option. So you mean to tell me that there was 2 other options out of that ATO play? Shout out to JJ Redick.
Well, we also what I also stated at the beginning of this is. Luka doesn't shoot well doing a catch and shoot. He doesn't do that often.
He shoots off the dribble.
LeBron isn't a catch and shoot guy either. He can have his moments, but not in a last second shot. That's not his thing. Maybe AR a little bit, but the call, however it played out, was the perfect call.
Yeah.
Because they had double teamed LeBron. Luka was too far to get a comfortable shot with a dribble where he was, and it just left everyone open to the point where Kennard was sitting there like a very, very comfortable owl waiting for the rat to come out of the hole, and then dropped it in the hole. So
butt naked. That's what my college coach used to say.
That's great. That's a good one. I've never heard that. It props that buck ass naked, snap the wrist, swish.
Come on, my college coach used to say that shit. You butt naked open, you better shoot that bitch.
Yeah. That was the buck snap and swish.
Hell yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing when you know it's going in before it's even shot. As soon as I saw how wide open he was and how quickly he got the ball, and I saw that kickstand, as Robert Orr used to say, once I get my little kickstand, boom, nothing but net. It's beautiful. That's the part in basketball that just is beautiful when you see something. Perfect form, perfect shot, perfect result. And then, of course, it's a game winner on the road in a game that was as physical as you can watch in an NBA game today. And it was fun. It was fun because it's, when you win, it adds more to it.
Joe, real quick about that. I was going to say, so I like your point that you made on like, LeBron and Luka not really shooting like game winners, like catch and shoot. So honestly, if I'm JJ, even if we're talking like, game 7 Western Conference Finals, if we have an ATO that's like a catch and shoot type play, I'm only using Bron and Luka and as decoys, to be honest with you. The only way I'm going for a Bron and Luka game winner is if like we're running down the clock and Luka can set up and can bring the ball up court. That's the only way. If not, honestly, I love the point that you made. Like I'm setting up a catch and shoot ATO for Luka Kennard, AR, Marcus Smart, Rui, anybody. But yeah, catch and shoots. I don't know if I want to go with Luka and LeBron. And shout out to our Carino. And then King Cora asks us a question here, Joe. I don't know if you want to get to that, but he said, who do you fear most in the first round, Wolves or Nuggets? I personally fear the Nuggets more, to be honest with you. I'd rather play the Wolves. I don't want to play a Nuggets team because That's going to be really hard with Jokic, to be honest with you. And you have to send doubles his way. And when you send doubles his way, that's when he really starts torching you and really starts slicing and dicing you. And I just don't think Gerald joined.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, shout out Joel. But yeah, so I say that to say, yeah, I feel the Nuggets more. I feel like we match up better with the Wolves instead of the Nuggets.
Yeah, it's to give credit.
We're not the same team.
I'm gonna bring this up since you brought up the credit thing. This entire setup right now is becoming a team. I'm talking from top to bottom, even the executive parts of this. Everything's coming together, and it's coming together now at the best time. They played a game tonight in a very, 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 I wouldn't say hostile, but very determined home team. A team that seems to have had our number. They had beaten us 4 times in a row. And that team was physically maybe a little bit ahead of us, ahead of the Lakers in terms of physicality. They took the punches, they took the body blows, the head blow, everything. And in the end, it not only was the physical part that got figured out a little bit here, also the mental part, because the refs may have not been giving them what they want and may have not given them what they want in any way. I know that for sure the Magic are complaining about that Banchero out of bounds call.
That shit was out on him. Fuck you complaining about?
Again, they'll look at that footage, especially. And by the way, someone had mentioned on Lakers Ball, my main site that I go to, how come when the Lakers have a call, how come there's a F-16 camera that can be seen from freaking Kuwait to watch what's going on with LA? Every time something happens that's not favoring LA, it's just one angle. And then as soon as it's LA Lakers, it's like, oh, we got the Zapruder film. We have spies in the rafters in Orlando. They had that in Orlando. Where is that in LA? I thought LA was cameras and Showtime and all this technology and shit. How the hell did that guy? How the hell did they get that drone? Look, that was hilarious.
That was crazy.
But the thing is, in the end, you didn't know how. You couldn't see if it hit off LeBron. Therefore, the refs have to go with the call on the court.
Yep.
That's normal. I've seen enough to where that call's gone against the Lakers, even though there's no definitive proof. And you can't even tell at that time, did it really graze his shorts? You can't really tell.
Hit Pablo's hand.
So you got to go with the call on the court. If it was Orlando ball, then they would have given the ball to Orlando because there was no determining factor, 100% inconclusive footage that said, yeah, it did go off this guy. So Lakers got the ball, and JJ had 2 amazing out-of-bounds calls that, in my opinion, were at this point, he's starting to get really good at that, and he did it twice in a 4-second manner. Very excited about what's coming here, guys. I'm very happy with the team. I'm very happy with everything, and I want to give props to all of them: JJ, the players, Rob Pelinka, ownership, the new ownership. Everyone right now deserves credit for creating what's going on right now, and I was proud of them 3 games ago. I'm proud of them 2 games ago. I'm proud of them a game ago, and I'm proud of them now. And if this is how they're going to play, win or lose, I'm going to be proud of them in every game, and that's a beautiful thing.
Heck yeah, Joe! You gotta be proud of your guys, man.
When you do well, you have to be given credit.
That boy gooseneck.
Cash, credit, layaway, whatever you want to do. What do you say? We saw gooseneck release from Kennard textbook. Is that what they call him? Gooseneck?
Gooseneck?
What the hell's gooseneck?
I know it's a goose's neck. I think he's talking about the release though, because goose's neck.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh,
because he's talking
JY,
about
that's good. I never. How have I never heard that?
I can't believe you never heard butt naked open.
No, man, I've never heard. I've heard buck standing there buck naked, but never buck naked open. No, is that a NorCal thing?
I heard it. My college coach told me, so I don't really know. What's up, baby? You good?
Is this the great day of Kennards? By the way, you know what a Kennard is?
I don't, but if it's something that's
So
obscene,
when he said gooseneck, it started playing in my head like funny. Kennard means duck.
Ooh, okay.
So maybe it's not a gooseneck. Maybe it's a duck's neck.
It's a duck. It's Luke's duck's neck.
Yeah.
That's a knee slapper, Joe.
Where the hell is? Oh, I'm not on mine. I'm on Gerald's.
Where's Gerald?
I'm on Gerald's $2 a month program here.
Damn. Shout out Gerald though.
Let's see.
Luka
isn't efficient at catch and shoot. I agree. You can tell by his flat free throw shooting. That is an excellent point, JY. That is why he usually needs to dribble a little bit to garner, to handle that feel of the ball, and then get the shot going.
Also, just to get his legs under him.
And he needs to usually go to his left to get the full extension. If he goes to the right, he ain't Kobe, man. That's the part when people say, "Oh, Kobe and Luka." I'm like, Kobe could make a shot going the opposite way.
You know what?
Get separation.
So you know what was wild to me, and I was older at this one, so I talk about the 81-point game all the time. That was wild to me, but I was 7. But what was really crazy to me, and I was older, I think it was like damn near already a teenager. Remember when Kobe tore his right rotator cuff and he was shooting that bitch with his left, fading away, and when shooting with his left, that shit was out of this world.
Yeah, he was showing off. That was in 03.
Yeah, that was okay. Oh, really? Okay, well, I remember that like
he tore his labrum.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. That
Kobe entered his prime in 03.
I was
03, 04, 05, 06, 07, and then 08 was his last. I had talked about this on my show and on here as well. A basketball player and a boxer. I was using those as my example.
Okay.
They're going to have a 3 to 5 year window of prime. I'm talking like elite prime for the great ones. Okay. Boxing, I think, is more 3. Some have gotten away with 4 or 5, but really it's 3. That's why when I was using Muhammad Ali as an example, Muhammad Ali had 3 years of his career taken away because of the draft situation he was in. If Ali fought Joe Frazier in that 3 year he missed, he would have destroyed Joe Frazier in every fight.
What happened to him in those 3 years?
Boxers, there's only a small window, man. Any prime, any elite prime has got a small window.
No, but are you saying Muhammad Ali like was gone for 3 years or something like that?
Yeah, he was not allowed to fight because he quote unquote didn't go into the. He didn't when he got drafted. He didn't go to Vietnam.
Okay.
So they didn't let him fight. They never let him. He wasn't sanctioned to fight in any fights. So he lost 3 years of his prime. And
damn, I'd be fucking pissed.
In basketball, the prime, you could probably go 5 and be comfortable. So Kobe's to me was 03, 04, 05, 06, 07, 08 a little bit, but you could see he was starting to become a little kind of slower, at least from what I remember.
What I will say though, Joe, is that like yes, I agree, but I also think that like the Kobe's, the LeBrons, the Jordans, the Carmelos, like those players that are like the Kevin Durant's, they're in I don't think I'm going to say it the right way, an anomaly, right? To where like their primes are longer than regular people's prime. Like Jalen Brunson is a really good player, but Jalen Brunson's prime will not be as long as Kobe's prime or Kevin Durant's prime or any of these guys' prime, right? Because they're not. I don't think he's an anomaly talent like those guys.
Well, you have to factor in. There's the anomaly too part is when you look at, let's say LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at LeBron's prime,
mm-hmm.
LeBron's prime was between 2010 and 18. His went a little bit longer because he does have a freakish physique.
Mm-hmm.
Shaq's prime might have gone a little longer because his physique is freakish. Kobe's
you said
not
2010 for LeBron. You think 2010?
Yes, 2010 through 2018.
So when he really started fucking with the Heat, because he was, I guess that's true. But he was on some elite shape when he took the Cavs to the finals that first time. Like,
no, he was still. Prime. This is based off of his prime, not somebody else's prime.
Okay, I guess
LeBron in his second year is better than probably 99% of the people that have ever played basketball.
Yeah,
but in terms of LeBron's prime, 2010 through 18 was a 9-season prime for him.
That's true. I just want to show some love to Jeremy because I really appreciate Jeremy for this. But Jeremy asked me how my new job is going. I appreciate you, bro. My official start date is May 1st, so that's all sales work. You start the new fiscal quarter, but I appreciate you though, bro. I just got the job this last week.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna answer our Carino's question. Joe John, what signs from JJ Redick would indicate to you that he's becoming a great coach?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I always had belief in him, and even when he first got hired, my only thing was I think he's gonna have a learning curve because I mean he hadn't even coached an eighth grade AAU team before this, but I knew that he was gonna be a players coach, which is what the successful coaches nowadays have to be. They have to be players coaches. You can't be one of those like I'm a tyrant and you guys all better listen to me because I'm the coach. That doesn't work nowadays anymore. You got to be a player's coach. You got to have a relationship with your players. I knew he's going to be able to have that because he was a player. Then on top of that, I knew he's a really smart guy. So like, you know, the ATOs, defensive sets, like offensive sets, traps and all that. So I knew he was going to be really good at that. My only thing was, you know, the learning curve mistakes, like how we seen last year with him, you know, him playing 5 players. So that's my only thing. But I guess what would indicate to me that he's becoming a great coach, learning from his mistakes. I would say that a lot of coaches in the NBA are very stubborn. You know, they say, hey, this is the lineup that worked, or this is a scheme that I like to run, and they run it into the ground. Even a lot of coaches damn near get fired off that shit. Like a lot of coaches will believe in their system to the point where they end up getting fired. But I think JJ he's molding as we see. We see him growing, and he figures out one thing that works. He doesn't get married to it. You know, switches lineups, switches schemes. So that's what I would say. I guess his ability just to make adjustments on the fly.
It always comes down to the players buying in, and if the coach has a part of that, great. But I think in the end, it's always going to shade more towards the player that decides, you know what, I'm going to respect this guy so that everybody falls in line. The reason why Greg Popovich was great, besides the fact that he knew the game, there's plenty of coaches that know how to coach, but can they communicate? And the communication sometimes might not be them. He could yell at Tim Duncan. Bill Belichick could yell, you know, screamed at Tom Brady. And everyone else that saw that on the New England Patriots or the San Antonio Spurs, anyone who saw that, they're like, well, if he's screaming at Tom Brady and he's screaming at Tim Duncan, who the hell are we? We better get in line.
Right.
And LeBron and the outside noise that have been really the only issue I've had with him. I've never really had a problem with his game, except when he wouldn't take the shot when I wanted him to.
Early in his career.
And he stopped doing that. So I had really nothing else to say. I had nothing to say the last couple of years because he was taking those shots. He wasn't passing and making, quote unquote, the right play. Even though when he did do it, it made sense and it worked, right? Like that's the whole point, guys. The right play is to get the ball in the basket. Just because there's a guy over there that's wide open doesn't mean that's the right call. You need to get the ball in the basket. The only time somebody else besides the number one guy that's supposed to get that ball in the basket makes it, then it's the right call. But if he misses it, it's a bad call. If LeBron misses the shot, if Kobe misses the shot, it's still not a bad call because they're the stars. They're supposed to end the game. That's what they get paid to do, close the game out. LeBron stopped doing that unless the results said, okay, Joe, let's say he's talking to me. Joe, I'm sorry. There was 2 guys in front of the basket. He was wide open. I felt like he was going to make it. He made it. Hey, shit, I'm not going to argue it. After that, it was always about, LeBron, can you stop with the stupid noise? Can you tell your dumb boy over there, Rich Paul, to shut the fuck up, please? We're trying. Don't you want to win? Don't you want to go out on top? Don't you want to come back? Well, this is helping now. You don't have to hold back anything. LeBron's dropping triple doubles. He don't need to score 64. He never did that anyways. I mean, he's done it. I'm just saying he didn't have to. He don't have to. The Lakers need Luka to be dropping 30 and 40. They needed Luka to drop 40 tonight and win the game. They got away with it, but they needed him to hit 40. And they do, because the Lakers don't have enough outside players yet, which they will get. And if LeBron wants to come back for another year, and it's looking like
He for sure is. I guarantee.
I don't think he wants to leave even next year.
I promise, Joe, as much as I know LeBron James, I guarantee he's going to at least finish out this year, and he's going to announce it in the offseason when it's
I'll tell you this right now. I'll say it again. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. They win a championship this year, and they come back and say, we're going to give LeBron another $50 million for one more year. I'm not going to argue against it.
I'm not going to argue against it, but what I will say is this, and this may sound contradicting to the statement I just said, but like I said, I think LeBron James is gonna announce, hey, this is gonna be my last year, and gonna go on a retirement tour. He's gonna want to get a party in every city. But I do think if they somehow, some way win a championship this year, I think the best thing for LeBron to do would be to retire. Can you imagine retiring on top?
Well, I had mentioned that. Yeah, going out on top
is different. Let me get in your lane real quick. I know you're a football guy, Joe. So let me throw the pigskin your way real quick. Because check this out. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if I remember, Brett Favre kept doing that same thing. He kept coming back. He kept coming back and kept playing and late into his career, like late into his age. I guess like for the NFL. And a lot of people used to be like, oh man, this guy is like tarnishing his legacy because now this is what people are going to kind of remember this guy as. And he didn't go out on top. Versus I think if LeBron goes out on top with a championship this year, like I think that helps him even more of his GOAT case or GOAT debate or whatever for his case.
The GOAT case is something I'm not going to get into right now because I don't want to ruin what's going on with the Lakers. LeBron may just enjoy basketball too much to leave. And if he wanted to stay, there's going to have to be concessions made from him first. They could get away with paying him $50 million again for one more year if they win it all. They could get away with it in terms of the logic behind it, but they can't get beyond that next year. They have to go after the next guy. Mm-hmm. And they may already want to go after the next guy this summer. The only problem with that is it will probably take Austin Reaves to do that. That's why I've been saying I want 27 to be the year they go get the third guy. And I don't care option 1, option 2, it has nothing to do with option 1 or option 2 or option 3. The third guy, because they'll have money and there's some talent that's coming out, or at least has the opportunity to come out in 2027, that they can quickly get this thing put together the way they want. Because they'll have a draft this year, which I believe they will draft someone of substance because they'll have the Guggenheims are going to have the resources to put towards that, right? Then they're going to have another draft next year to do that. So they'll have 2 more players, and then I'm not counting the second round guys either. Who knows what happens with that? Then you're going to pick up somebody for the mid-level exceptions in the summer and the next summer. So you're going to be able to build. Let's say you're going to be able to get 4 players here between the things that you can control through the draft and through mid-level exceptions during the summer, and then possibly bring in a third guy that's going to be able to be that guy. If it is still Austin Reaves and Luka, you bring in that third guy with all this youth and all this. Now this is the culture of what we're doing now. Mm-hmm. And then you can go, you can run and go without worrying about, oh, is this guy too old?
Tired of that shit.
Again, the future is bright. Very. And I said this before, and you were on a lot of these shows. Greatness is not. I think we get used to greatness because we've seen the Kobes and the Jordans. We don't. I think you hear the word great and iconic and legend. You hear the word so much because we just put anything towards it. No. That's not true. When you look at greatness, let's say just in this last 25 years,
okay,
there's really only been 4 guys.
Bron, Kobe.
Shaq and Tim Duncan.
You wouldn't call Kevin Durant great?
Kevin Durant is amazing.
Okay.
Dirk Nowitzki is amazing.
Luka
is amazing right now.
Dwayne
Wade was amazing. AI was amazing.
Is Luka on his way right now?
For me, the four guys that you just said are a level ahead. When you look at Shaq's dominance, when you look at Kobe's dominance, when you look at LeBron's dominance, Tim Duncan, it's these guys. You can't measure, to me. You can't really measure.
Yeah,
they had something else there. Garnett won one championship, right? And I'm not just sticking this as a championship thing. It's just when I look at Tim Duncan, when I look at Kobe, LeBron, and Shaq, they were too good to fail, and they were too good not to win a lot. I still think LeBron should have won more. I think there's a couple of championships he left on the table. But he also had a little bit of shitty luck with Durant going to
Golden State.
If Durant doesn't go to Golden State, LeBron is sitting on 6 championships at least right now.
Real shit. Joe, real quick, I just want to add to this really quick because shout out King Cora. He said Steph for sure has to be on that list. King Cora, I appreciate you being here, brother, and I am from the Bay Area. I've been living in the Bay Area for a good amount of my life. My brother, I do not think so. If we're talking about the list of great players, right? Like, don't get me wrong. Stephen Curry is the greatest shooter of all time. But being a shooter is not the entire being a basketball player.
I knew I was gonna get shit for this. So go ahead and tell me I'm wrong.
Look,
there's no right or wrong if you say Steph. But I'm gonna say this right now. It sucks that LeBron was never ever not better than Steph.
LeBron's always been better than Steph.
And I'm sorry, he's never not been better than Durant.
Yeah, LeBron has always been better than Steph, always been better than Durant. LeBron, in my opinion, to be real with you, unless we're talking about Kobe's early years, he's been the best player in the league literally almost every single year. And I just want to real quick, I know Black is just trolling. He's just trying to be stupid and shit. But, if we're being real, right, like Stephen Curry is the greatest shooter of all time. But as an overall basketball player, I'm talking both ends. I'm talking everything on the court. Stephen Curry isn't even a top 5 basketball player of all time. He's not going before LeBron. He's not going before Kobe. He's not going before Jordan. He's not going before Shaq. I don't even think he's going before Magic, to be honest with you. If we're talking about an overall basketball player, the shooter, yes, Stephen Curry goes above and miles above all those guys. But guys, there's more to the game than basketball than shooting the ball. There's a lot more to the game.
There was an effect. There was an effect. There was an effect. And I'm not. I don't want to make this I don't want to go this way. This is supposed to be the Lakers Orlando tonight. But I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna end it with this. We'll have this discussion on one of the experiments. You guys can ask, and I'll roll. Steph Curry is amazing. He's the greatest shooter that ever lived in any realm. Any realm. There's nothing that Reggie, Dale Ellis, his pops, Del Curry, no one, not even Larry Bird, okay? No one is a better shooter of the basketball in the history of basketball, whether it was before the first comet came and killed everybody, after, it doesn't matter. Steph Curry is the greatest, and there's not even like he's so great, he's number 2. How about that?
With what?
Steph Curry number 1, Steph Curry number 2. Then you can put whoever you want number 3.
You talking about shooting?
Yes.
For
that's
sure.
That's how much better he is.
This is a casual take right here. This is
you have to understand the difference between Tim Duncan, Shaq, Kobe, and LeBron. They're different animals. Those guys had a different tick.
But they were literally unguardable on the offensive end, and on the defensive end, they were never liabilities. They were able to go to that next level. They were able to close out games. They were able to
King Cobra. See, that's where I'm gonna get you.
Yeah. Because now
you
I'm going
pick
with
Steph as a point guard over Magic, you're toast.
Now you got to build a team to have somebody to help Steph on the defensive end because
you are toast. Magic will run circles around Steph Curry. Oh my God! If you put Magic, see, here's the thing. I'm gonna put this. None of your guys' opinions are wrong, but I'm just gonna give you a little bit of comparison. Because I always, if Jordan had played this today, he'd be averaging 50. Well, are you talking about if we teleported that Jordan now, or if Jordan grew up in this era? If he grew up in this era, Jordan would have been Jordan. Mm-hmm. Jordan grew up the way he grew up because of the era. People grew up different. If you put LeBron growing up in the 70s and the early 80s, oh my God, you think he's been good now? Imagine if LeBron had the 80s mentality. That's like Shaq hitting free throws. You would have had no. God didn't want that, by the way. He said, no. I can't put LeBron here right now. He's got to be born like late 80s. Wait, why not? But no. It's okay.
Just listen. Just trust me.
Just listen to what I'm saying. Trust me. Okay. Magic could have played in this era running backwards.
Right. Real shit.
Steph playing in the 80s?
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Joe, that way that you're laughing, that is how I'm laughing at Black when he's talking
about it. Would have again, I'm here to add the fuel to the fire. I want this shit to go off. It's the truth though. It's the truth. You put Magic in any era and he is exactly Magic. Exactly. You put Steph in the 80s, in the 90s, Steph is struggling. He would not be able to get a shot off regularly.
Joe, I'm going to go as far as Joe.
He would have to shoot from the logo every time.
Joe, let's be honest. You put Steph on a team that's not that Warriors team that was built to have him hide on the defensive end, to have a coach run a damn near team and an offense around him. It's his career is wholly different.
It's tough because now I'm sitting here insulting Steph Curry and that's bothering me. That's why I don't want to go this way.
That's not an insult. That's just a fact. Like, that's just a fact. And he's a great shooter, and I give him all the credit. But again, there's just more to the game than shooting. And I'm not even just talking about the defensive end, to be honest with you. I'm talking about more than that. I'm talking about having that next level. Black. Come on, bro.
I knew it was going to go off the rails. It's okay. Let me go back to somebody more calm. Our Carino's calm. Joe and John give me father and son.
Well, fuck yeah. I mean, I'll take it. Joe's a real one. Appreciate it.
No, it's look, Steph's 5. I put him ahead of Durant. How about you give me that one?
Ooh.
Would you give me that one?
Joe, can I ask you an honest question?
Go ahead.
Okay. We're at the park. We're hooping, right? Me and you. Imagine, right? I'm a drop a situation. This is imagination. We at the park hooping, right? You have 4 on your team. I have 4 on my team. And we're like, damn, bro, we each just need 1 more on our team. And then Steph and KD walk on that court.
You just proved my point on why I picked Steph above.
Okay, so tell me, be honest. Do you really go?
So this, if we're talking about a singular player, obviously Durant's got to be the guy. Yeah. If we're talking about team sports, you got to go with Steph.
Okay. Hey, I mean, I respect it, but I just feel like it's hard because, like, you know how I feel about Bron and all that. But if you were to ask me, hey, John, your life's on the line, you need somebody to go get a bucket, I'm choosing KD every single time. So, like, why in that same situation, why would I not?
But Steph has some of the greatest handles of all time too. He could just, I'm just saying.
But help defense is a
Durant's mental fortitude is what is the issue with Durant.
Durant can do the
skill set.
Joe, so earlier, remember when I said like butt naked wide open, and you never heard of it? Have you ever heard of good defense, better offense? Kevin Durant, that is what defines Kevin Durant. You could play great defense, you could have hand in the face, you could be there, but he just might rise up right over you and just catch that bitch.
It's a great argument. Who knows how? I don't know where no one is wrong at that point, but King Cora says, who would you pick between the 96 Bulls, the 2016 Warriors, or the 01 Lakers?
01 Lakers. We have fucking Shaq and Kobe. Are you serious? Granted, I didn't watch 96 Bulls, I'll be honest with you, but 01 Lakers. I did watch 2016 Warriors, and I know they're not fucking with that 01 Lakers. There's no answer for Shaq. You got to triple him, double him.
The problem with the 01 team was, and San Antonio said this. This isn't me. San Antonio were deathly afraid of Kobe. That was the guy that ruined them. It wasn't Shaq. They were ruined in 01 by Shaq anyways, but the reason why Shaq was able to just steamroll everything in that particular series was because they're like, we can't guard anybody anymore. Kobe absolutely annihilated them in game 1 after he'd come back from the 48-16 game against the Kings. He dropped 41 in San Antonio, and then game 2 was the one that Kobe took their hearts out in the end. That was the game that I believe Phil Jackson got kicked out, and they finished it. I think that was the game. I think that was the year. To remember that. But really, the 16 Warrior team, as great as they were great. They're very similar to the 07 Patriots in terms of just they were an amazing team that did amazing things. They just couldn't win that last game. I think I give the edge to the 96 Bulls by 7 to beat the 01 Lakers.
Damn, okay. Why is that?
I just think Michael in 96 was not human.
Okay, I can't tell you I agree or disagree, but I can tell
that
you
was the most angry Michael Jordan you would have ever seen.
That was after he came back from a little hiatus.
That was after that's after Nick Anderson did what he did to him, after he said 45, 8, 20, 23, all that stuff. That was when, as soon as they lost Orlando in 95, his trainer says, when you want to meet up at, this is the day of the elimination game. His trainer goes, so when do you want to get together? Next week, next month? He goes, tomorrow. So Jordan didn't take a day off. Jordan didn't take a day off after that loss, and he proceeded to the Bulls and Jordan. And the Last Dance says it. He was an absolute maniac when he got back in the 96 season.
I bet you really enjoy that.
Now,
a series.
I know this is a little bit working around things, but if it was Kobe 06 on the 01 Lakers, woo! Lakers.
That was a different Kobe. That was the year Kobe averaged 35, right? Yeah,
that was Kobe. Kobe said it best. He goes, I could run all day. I never got tired. That was Kobe at his Thanos peak. Really, 03 and 06 was his Thanos, absolute just destroy everything that's alive.
You love
06 Kobe on that 01 team. Then I say they take out the Bulls in 96, which doesn't mean, like, that's a stupid like segue into that. That doesn't make any sense. But that's how good the Bulls were. The Bulls in 96, the Bulls in general were just, they were so fundamentally sound and so just in solid mentally in every way. And I'm not saying that the Lakers weren't. I mean, they three-peated too. It's just different. It's just different. Those guys were different. And I think they have the edge a little bit because of Michael and because of how just, you could tell by Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson would say things about, man, these guys really, we don't know if they're doing this. We don't know if they're doing that. Now, they didn't say that a lot in 01, but there was a lot of turmoil during that year too, up until the last couple weeks.
That's another thing too. Like we talk about this 01 Lakers team, right? And like Kobe and Shaq weren't even fucking with each other. Can you imagine if they were fucking with each other? Like, that changes everything.
Well, if Kobe and Shaq really connected, I think they would have won 5 in a row.
I mean, shit, I don't doubt it. Keep it above.
Yeah, and they didn't, because in 03 there was some there was a frustration on Kobe's part because Shaq wasn't there, and you have to also understand the salary cap was a hindrance for the team. They could not bring more talent in; they were stuck. They could only do so much in the draft. Talent was limited at the time. Most of the time it is in the NBA a little bit, especially at that time. So they couldn't like get another guy that could be youthful and make an impact to where they could cover up a little bit. So 03, they ended up, Shaq ended up doing the surgery late, and they I think they busted out at what was it, 17 and 27, I think, and then they made a run. Not 17 and 27, it was something else. I'm sorry. But they ended up winning 50 games, but they were a 5 seed. And they almost beat the Spurs, but the Spurs, just from attrition, they finally got to them. 04, we all know what happened there. I think if Kobe doesn't get himself in trouble, I think that season would have gone a little different. But in the end, that's the difference. See, that's the difference, John, is
Okay.
I love Kobe. Kobe's my guy. Kobe will always be my guy. But there was a hair of a difference between Kobe and Jordan because of certain things that he couldn't get out of his way.
Respect.
And that little part was what sent Jordan to the next level. That's kind of how I look at it. Let's see here. What else do we got? Okay, I knew somebody was going to bring up the JJ Barea because I've done that too. Braun got locked up by JJ Barea. He's not doing anything against Pippen or Rod.
They just zoned the fuck out of him. So you can't get locked up by a single player when you're getting in the zone. So.
Hold on. Black is saying that LeBron is a fraud. That bum couldn't even break down a zone when he entered the league.
There you go. Now you're talking about the zone, Black. There you go.
First of all, there was no zone before 2002.
But he's talking about
2003.
He's talking about 2011 though. I'm guessing Black is.
I don't like the zone. I wish they never brought it in.
A zone works really good in a men's league. My team won a championship last year because we ran a zone every fucking time. And this year we're 2-0 right now. And
hold on.
Because most teams just want to go man up.
So that 22 championship validated Steph, and he has to be in the conversation, guys. He changed the game.
He changed the game for sure.
He changed the game, and
can I tell you something real quick though, Joe?
But one complete year is not enough, guys.
Yeah, and about changing the game, like I'll credit him, and I think him and like Harden.
I can't do it. This is too.
What?
It's a dumb argument.
Change the game?
No, I'm just in general like this. I'm picking 4 guys that to me are more valuable than Curry. That's all it is.
Joe, stop listening to these dumbass people.
No. There's got to be an understanding here.
He's just not on that level, and if they don't understand it,
it's Shaq, Duncan, Kobe, and LeBron, guys. I'm sorry, I can't pick.
That's it.
Anyone.
We're not going to get fucking empathy points.
You're saying, look, one of those guys is the most dominant big man that's ever lived. I know Wilt has some room there, but Wilt wasn't playing against Watermelon Head, freaking Arvydas Sabonis and Rick Smits and Dikembe and Alonzo Mourning and Patrick Ewing and all these great big men. He was playing against guys like Bill Russell, and that's it. So most dominant player I've ever seen. I'm just going to say me. I'm not going to mention anything before. The most dominant player I've ever seen in basketball is Shaq. So you have to put him there. Duncan is is only second to Magic in my view as the greatest team basketball player that's ever lived. It's Magic, and then it's Tim Duncan. Oh, he's really good too, by the way. Then you have LeBron and you have Kobe. Who are you gonna trust more? Steph, or are you gonna trust Shaq or Duncan or Kobe or LeBron? A lot of people will say LeBron. Watch.
I'm going with LeBron every single time, and Shaq and Kobe and Duncan. But real quick, I just want to speak to JY's point because
that's true, JY. But come on, man, 2000, Fred Hickman, really? Come on, Shaq should have been done unanimous that year. That was a hose down.
I train a lot of kids, Joe, in basketball, and these young kids, they only want to shoot threes. And don't get me wrong, I understand.
That's Steph's fault, by the way.
Exactly, it's Steph's fault. So this is what I say. Steph made the game better for high level hoops like college basketball, NBA, because now we're just seeing like 150 to 130 or whatnot. These crazy high scoring games. We're seeing nice moves, but I'm telling you, he's fucking up these kids. When I started playing basketball, and all good basketball players I know started from the inside. You start from the inside, you form shoot, and you take a step back, and you take a step back, and you take a step back. These kids are coming on the court. First shot they're getting up in the day is a push shot 3. They throwing that bitch up. I'm like, you're gonna ruin your shot. And that's credit to Steph. But again, appreciate him changing the game because I like hitting that shit from deep.
we veered off from the great elegance of tonight's game, but I'm going to bring it back here for the next 10 minutes before we head out. So the Lakers beat the Orlando Magic. For those of you who are here for the first time, I know we had just a new subscriber. If you're going to subscribe, we usually stick to the topic, but a lot of people love talking about all-time type stuff. It's just that's the society we live in. We want to talk about nostalgia. We want to talk about the greats. So to me, it doesn't really matter in the end who you think is the best. What's great about being a Laker fan is most of the greatest players have played for the Lakers, and that gives us the advantage as Laker fans.
Come on, buddy.
Think about this for a second. This is the hilarious part about this discussion. You could legitimately create a top 5 all time
of just Lakers.
Come
on. How are we not the greatest team?
Seriously. You could create 5 of the greatest NBA players of all time and have a legitimate argument. People are not going to agree, sure, all the way, but there's a legitimate argument that you could put 5 of the greatest players. I'm not going by position. This ain't 5 greatest. And just have Lakers. Kareem, Wilt, LeBron, Magic, Kobe. Just the first 5 that came to my mind.
Come on.
I didn't even mention Shaq yet.
Come on.
Right? I didn't mention George Mikan, which, by the way, he was the first superstar of the NBA. He is the seed.
The Mikan drills.
Right?
The Viking drills.
So
only Hoopers.
We are this right here. We're Laker fans, man. We got lucky. Either we found them at the right time, or like me, my pops brought me in, and I rolled with it at a young age. I rolled with whatever pops rolled with. That's how I rolled back then. It's still roll.
Shout out Pops.
We got lucky, man. We got blessed because I was born Royal Oak, Michigan, man. I was probably, if my parents didn't move out west, I might have been a Pistons fan. Imagine that. I'd have been dead. Dude, I would have been a Pistons fan. I would have been a Detroit Lions fan. I would have been a freaking Detroit Tigers fan. How miserable would my life have been? I probably would have been big into hockey, though. I probably would have been a big Red Wings fan.
Joe, you probably would have been like as miserable as this guy Black in the chat. You probably would have been so miserable that
there'd be so much black on black crime. You wouldn't even know where you are, man.
You're so miserable.
You'd be in constant darkness.
Yeah, there you go.
Although I do think I have a better tan than John does.
Hey, come on, brother.
Come on, look at this. I'm not even that tan right now. If you see me in the summer, I'm gonna be darker than your ass.
You for sure are gonna be darker than me. You'd be outside with the turfs. 96 Bulls had 4 Hall of Famers and the greatest coach of all time. Talk about stacked jacked MJ.
I think the funny thing about that particular, let's say, the 2 greatest teams I ever saw, and I'm going to give props to 2017, the 2017 Warriors as well.
Yeah.
But the 2 best I've seen was the 96 Bulls and then the 01 Lakers. I always wonder how Phil Jackson would have coached against himself, how that would have worked out. That would have been a funny thing to do. Maybe if I die and go to heaven and God gives me a DVR that lets me see that, I think that'd be fun to see.
I'm trying to see what the runs in heaven is going to look like.
The Bulls had 4 Hall of Famers and the greatest coach of all time, about stacked team. Well, if you look at the Lakers in 01, they had 3, right?
Well, we had.
Oh no, they had 2.
No, we had 2.
Yeah.
My daughter wants to say hi.
Hi. How are you?
She's wearing her Lakers shirt.
She's getting big, man.
I know, bro. She's 5. She's wearing her Lakers shirt. Can you say hi, baby?
Hi.
Hi.
The Lakers won, baby.
Craig, Kareem had championships in high school, college, pros, plus 6 MVPs. I mean, there's no argument there, right? If somebody says Kareem is the best. But for me, it's hard to give the best. He's the greatest big man in my view ever. But I can't give the best player of all time because centers are just, it's different. I got to give it to a guy that can control the ball.
You got to be able to bring the ball up court. You got to be able
to bring the ball up. Yeah,
create offense.
Yeah. So again, I'm gonna close the show out here with some more Orlando Magic talk. Lakers came in tonight, absolutely just on fire. offensively, the last couple games, I think they scored, 258 points in 2 games on the road.
Yes, sir.
And they didn't look sluggish today. I think that day off helped, but it was a slugfest on defense, and the refs let them play a little bit. And that's what makes this game so much more fun to enjoy, because they're winning every way. They're winning on the road. They're winning at home. They're beating teams in their own place. They're playing rough. They're playing offensive like horses. They're running like horses.
Luka's 60 balls, and then
Luka's
defense
dropping 60. Luka's winning. You're winning when Luka's struggling. Like, you are winning. You're winning when LeBron. What did LeBron have? Like 12 points?
Yep.
LeBron had 12 points tonight, played 34 minutes, and I felt like he had a good control of the game because his defense was awesome all game long. Think about that for a second. I want you guys to really think about that. If you guys don't remember while you're watching, because I don't blame you if you don't. A lot of times we're watching the ball for 48 minutes because you don't know the results. Now you know the result. If you have time, watch what LeBron was doing tonight on defense. He was awesome. I mean, I didn't even hear Desmond Bane. I don't remember hearing Desmond Bane's name hardly tonight. It was Suggs. Suggs was the only guy it seemed like I kept hearing his name. Suggs, Carter. Who else? Goga, only because he was
bitching
and shit. De Silva was doing his thing until he got into foul trouble. Then I don't remember hearing from him. But LeBron had control over this game, scoring 12 points and only playing 34 minutes. Man, if LeBron is going to have control over a game, scoring 12 points a game and only playing 34 minutes, you're in trouble. He had 3 steals tonight. Luke had 4, playing a shitty game. 4. Props to Austin Reaves, though. Picked up the slack, shot 50% from the field. Marcus Smart may have not scored a lot. Defense again. DeAndre Ayton, key rebounds. Huge rebounds.
Offensive rebounds got us so many seconds.
He had 6 offensive rebounds. You have no idea. To me, an offensive rebound is 2 rebounds, in my view.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially if they score. If they score, it's 2 rebounds, in my view. That's how big that rebound is. So the Lakers are in tune. Everyone has bought into the system. Everyone is adapting to the games in the way you do when you're a championship contender. And I'm happy. I'm happy. Other than the Luka getting his tech, but that was just a matter of time. There was no way Luka was going to make it another 11 games without getting a tech. I just wish he had done it.
He's going to get 2 more too.
I wish he had done it in the Detroit game. Then he would have not had to worry about the Indiana game. He would have had 4 days off before they faced Brooklyn. So let's say they split the next 2 games. Then they have Brooklyn and Washington at home. I feel pretty comfortable that the Lakers are going to win 3 of the next 4 games before they face Cleveland on a Tuesday to end the month. And then things start to get really busy once April hits. They're going to have to play Oklahoma City in Oklahoma City, Dallas in Dallas. And then, you know that game is always going to be special with Luka. And then they're going to come back home. They won't leave the West Coast probably for the next 2 weeks. They'll be at home for Oklahoma City. They'll take a little puddle jumper to San Francisco to play Golden State. Then the last 2 games are at home against Phoenix and Utah. And I believe that they will be the 3rd seed and they will have home court to start the year. So the Lakers right now are very close after right around April 7th. Once April 7th hits, they're probably going to be at home, other than a small trip to San Francisco. They're going to be home for at least 2 to 2.5 weeks.
You got to love it. You got to love it. Playing at home really helps. And then just real quick, we'll finish out this last minute. And then also King Cora. I don't know if you were here last post-game show, but I was talking about that. I was talking about how Jake LaRavia, like, that's my problem with him, right? Is the fact that it's not even that, he's not scoring 27. I know he had a week where he scored like 2 27-point games. It's the fact that he's putting up 5 shots, putting up 3 shots. It's the confidence. That was always my issue with him. It is what it is if they're going in or if they're not. But it's if you're not even willing to shoot, if you're not confident in your own shot, if you're not confident to put the ball on the ground, you're not confident if you don't play like you're actually trying to score, it just makes it so much easier for the defense to clamp you up. So that's my only thing with Jake LaRavia, man. He has a confidence issue. And again, I have no No tolerance for that in the NBA. Like if this was high school basketball, like, oh, okay, let me coddle you and let me cuddle you. Oh, okay, let's help get your confidence up, brother. You're in the NBA. Get your shit fucking together. You can't be playing 13 minutes and giving me a donut 0-3 from the 3-point line, 0-5 from the field. Anyway, that's how I feel about Jake LaRavia, but he needs to get his confidence under him.
Well, I don't know if it's confidence or just broken mechanics on his offense. I don't think it has anything to do with confidence. I think he's just
Oh, that's crazy.
His shot is whack.
You got to watch him play.
Air balls is not, to me. Air balls is you cannot be shooting air balls like
you
that.
got no legs, or you're nervous and you're not, and you don't.
I mean, at some point, you got to let that go. And I know Dalton Connect.
That's what I'm saying about the nervousness is not confidence, Joe. That's where I'm talking.
Well,
about.
Again, I'm not gonna sit here and worry.
Player not confident.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it too much. I think at the end of the day, once they get in the playoffs, there's going to be a 7, maybe 8-man rotation if they're lucky.
Oh,
7 likely.
I was just responding to King Core's comment.
Just look for Kennard. Yeah, look for Kennard. It's going to be Kennard. It's going to be Kennard, Rui, and then you're going to have Jaxson Hayes, who's going to play limited minutes because I think they're going to shift DeAndre Ayton out and put LeBron at the 5 in a lot of these cases. So you're not going to probably see Jaxson Hayes a lot. You're going to see 7.5-man rotation basically the rest of the way. You're not going to see a lot of LaRavia unless you need to maybe clamp down on a particular defensive set, and then that's it. I think I already know what this is going to look like, and they're going to have to roll with it, see what happens with it, and we'll be here to watch it. And until then, I want to thank you all for being here. I'm going to give you my call sign because it's now my show, the Lakers Fast Break, but I'm going to give you the have a good morning, have a good afternoon, and have a good evening. And then, of course, my partner in crime tonight, John Costa, have a good evening there in the NorCal Oakley area. And everyone else, of course, again, have a safe and enjoy the replays and enjoy all the festivities of the post game on an early game. And that's what I love about early games is I can spend a lot of time now watching and not having to worry about going to sleep. So until next time, have a good day, good evening, good morning. And until next time, I'll see you next time. Dan, 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 dan. No. This is a different one. This is the relaxing weekend one. There, down, Dan.
Great show, brother. Great show.
Are we still on?
I think it might be still on.
Is this what the $2 a month stuff does?
You got to click end stream. Did you click end stream?
I heard